MPD Chief Robert Conti and the Washington Field Office. Steve is here as well. So, Chief Name.
Again, thank you for your patience. Just moments ago, Floyd Roy Rosenberry from Grover, North Carolina, was taken into custody without incident. As we talked about earlier, Mr. Rosenberry had parked a truck, sitting in a truck for several hours in front of the Library of Congress, and he advised that he had explosives, and over the course of time we tried to negotiate with Mr. Rosenberry. We first started doing that with a whiteboard, just writing messages back and forth. We used a robot to get a telephone down to him, but he would not use the telephone. But shortly after we had delivered the telephone, he got out of the vehicle and surrendered, and the tactical units that were close by took him into custody without incident. So happy to answer any questions you might have.
Chief, were there any explosives in the vehicle, and do you know a motive?
We don't know if there are any explosives in the vehicle. It's still an active scene. While Mr. Rosenberry has been taken into custody and has been removed from the scene, we still have to search the vehicle and render the vehicle safe, so we don't know as of yet. We do know that Mr. Rosenberry has had some losses of family. I believe his mother recently passed away, and we spoke with members of his family, and there were other issues that he was dealing with. There'll be more on that at a later time.
Chief, do you have law enforcement or military background?
We're not aware, according to his family, we're not aware of any law enforcement or military background.
What about the other explosive you talked about?
I can't.
About other phone explosives, you said there are other phone bombs in this video.
Again, it's an active scene that we're trying to render safe in terms of any other explosives. That's still ongoing.
Other explosives in other parts of the city at all?
Not that we're aware of.
How much longer do you think it will take to assess the scene?
Hours. It would take hours to assess the scene.
Chief Maker, was this a known figure to the Capitol Police?
No.
Okay. Chief, are you tracking movement before he arrived here in the scene?
All of that is part of what will be a comprehensive investigation. But right now, I just want to report that he is in custody and that part of it is done.
But we don't know if he made any stops in D.C. before stopping here.
Not at this point. No.
What was his demeanor when he was arrested?
He gave up and did not resist, and our folks were able to take him into custody without incident.
How did you guys convince him to surrender peacefully? Did you say that they got him out of the car?
We had been in communication with him, but when we delivered the phone, there were no conversations via phone. As far as we could tell, it was just his decision to surrender at that point.
Was he acting alone?
Right now, we have no indication that he was acting with anyone else, but that, again, is part of the ongoing investigation.
Do you know what he's being charged with?
At this point, we'll work with the U.S. Attorney in terms of getting all the charges.
Does he
together.
have criminal history?
The little bit of criminal history that we were able to determine was in the state of North Carolina, and it was nothing that serious. But we just, this is what we've been able to find preliminarily.
Can you tell us what you've seen in and around the car? Anything else? Any other contents that you guys have been able to have visual fidelity on?
So we had information and evidence of what was in the bed of his truck, and there were some things that were concerning, but ultimately we were able to take him into custody without incident. But there were certain things that we saw in the truck, for instance, a propane gas container, but obviously that was not at this point. We think that's safe.
Any other weapons, knives?
Can you clarify the suspect's name?
I have
spelling of the name.
Floyd Roy Roseberry, R-O-S-E-B-E-R.
And Roy with an O. Ray with
That's
an
that.
we're going to be pushing out a
Yeah,
news
I-
release with all the
I'm reading someone else's
including the
handwriting,
date of
so-
birth
And
the
Chief,
spelling.
where is he right now? Is there a mental evaluation?
He's in our custody.
But
right
exactly where is he going to the hospital? Is there a mental evaluation?
now. The first thing is going to be criminal charges that are placed, and then anything there be any number of outcomes once he is goes before a judge.
But he's in federal custody on this property, or like where is he?
Well, he was just taken to custody moments ago, so I'm not sure if he's still there or if he's been taken. He's been moved away from the scene.
Chief,
All right,
can you
thank you all
clarify
very
how
much.
the investigation?
Chief, will this change your security posture going forward? Especially with September 8th.
Can we hear from Chief Conti on the neighborhood evacuation?
Obviously, to answer Kenneth Moten's question, we actually just rushed over here to brief you guys, so we're still processing a lot of information as well. As soon as we do, we're going to keep pushing things out on Twitter. We're going to put out a news release with full details, spelling, date of birth, all that stuff. We know we have a lot of questions. I'm monitoring through email.